Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I wanted to just share with you quickly a sort of little prize haul that I received, and this came from being featured in one of the magazines. I'm not sure which one it is. So when you see your cards in there you do win a prize. I think they do have it for all three, probably four of the magazines, where if you put one of your cards onto the CraftWorld website and they like it, then they'll pop it into the magazine. So this is just a couple of things that I received for obviously being featured in there, which is brilliant. I'm really thankful, and this is really quite incredible to have received these kind of prizes. I really didn't think that it would be anything like this. So the first thing we've got is a Creative die set. So Creative is one of their own brands. So this is a Stitch in Time skewed rectangles die set. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 dies there which have got that stitched detail on it, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 which is just an outline. So what you can do is use those just independently and create some mats and layers, or you could even just create a frame which has got then that stitched detailing on there. So that's pretty cool. Then we got just some papers in here. So this is coated, so I'm not sure that you could ink or anything on top of this. They are double-sided and they're not connected as well, which I do like. We've got sort of sentiments and different pictures and things on here. I really love these kind of patterns. These can be used for so many different kinds of cards, just as really great backgrounds. We've got butterflies on here. We've got really big flower images. So some really beautiful papers here. So we have got those. And then lastly, we've got this Simply Made Crafts. This is by Helen Griffin, and this is the Luxury Handbag Gift Box die set. I've never created anything like this before. I have had a look at some of the products from this brand. I've never bought anything, but I'm pretty sure Helen Griffin was a Card Maker of the Year winner, and now she has the same brand, which I know they sell on Craft Sash. I don't know if they sell it anywhere else, but she's got quite a lot of these where you can make things, boxes, bags and things like that. So we're going to give this a go today, and we're going to have a go at creating one of these and really see how that works out. But it's really amazing that you can get into those magazines by just posting pictures, or you can send your cards to them directly. I think there are details of that in the magazine, but if you aren't part of the CraftWorld website, please go over there, and it's free to sign up, and it's just a crafting kind of social media. It's really fantastic. There's lots of tutorials on there. There's tons and tons of people on there and groups that you can join, and it's just a really fantastic community. So I urge you to go over there, and if you do use any of the free gifts that come with any of the magazines, each of the magazines have their own groups which you can post. That's usually where I post my cards to, and you never know, you could be in the magazine with then receiving a free gift. So definitely go and check that out. So let's get into creating this luxury handbag gift box. So what I've done is I've already pulled out all of the pieces, and I've actually die cut all of the dies just from some white card, and then I've basically got the piles of dies here. So the only pieces I kind of want to show you is the main elements, then I'll show you all the other pieces from the white. So this is the die to create the body of your bag. So this measures 7 inch by 8 inch, so it's quite a nice size there. And what you do have, I want to show you this because it didn't come out too well because I tried to do it all at the same time, but you have this detail panel here. You can see it just on the packaging, a really lovely kind of diamond, and this is going to emboss. This isn't going to cut it, this is going to emboss, so you need to change the combination of your plates. So I tried to put this through the same time that I die cut my body piece, but if I just show you, it didn't really come out again because I didn't have the right, you can just really sort of see that on there, but I didn't have the right plate combination to allow for this embossing piece. So I just really wanted to show you that. I'm not going to be using it on my bag today because I have die cut some patterned paper, but you can just add that really lovely bit of detail in there. So let me show you all of the pieces. So again, this is the main body, and what you do have is darts already cut out, and you do have score lines as well. So it's really going to be easy to put your bag together. So we have then a side piece as well. So you've got 2 flaps on here, and again, it's got some detailing then. Then we have the top of our bag. It cuts out these 2 pieces here, which is where your handle is going to come from. And again, then it's got your score lines to be able to fold that over, and you've got this really beautiful shape to the bottom of the bag. Then the last main kind of element you've got is a strip here. This is then for your handle, and as I said, this can then feed through this piece here, like so, and then you've got a handle to your bag. The rest of these pieces then are purely decorative. So this piece here is going to be your kind of fastening. So the only piece it doesn't look like that I die cut is this piece here. This is going to give you a little bit of decoration. It goes on this side, and it's just going to be a decorative buckle for you to put on your strap. So in the pictures on CraftStash, they've just got one of these, and it sits in this middle section here. I've actually cut 2 for my card today, because I'm going to turn it into a little bit more of a kind of a satchel, I think. But so you've got that, you've got then some really beautiful dashed lines going all the way around, so you've got kind of that stitched detail on there as well. And again, then like I said, you've just got your buckle there. We have got then 2 pieces here. Now, I'm not 100% sure where to use these pieces. There's nothing kind of decorative, and I can't really see anything on the sample picture. But again, if you find something to use them for, then this can be extra decoration pieces. And then the last piece we have is a tassel, and you've got a really tiny die here, so make sure you don't lose this one. This is going to be kind of a ring for the top of your tassel, and you can thread some twine or some ribbon through that and add that onto your bag. So that's a look at all of the dies that come with this set. So you've got 12 dies in here. Again, you can create different kinds of bag. What I would suggest doing is create the kind of how it's going to look with these pieces. Once you know how to put that together, you can then start to adapt that to create a different kind of bag that you want to create. So in terms of how you actually put this bag together, on the packaging there are some handbag instructions. So it does tell you what you need to die cut. In terms of actually creating the bag, after that you can use all of these elements here to decorate the bag. So really you can die cut what you want or what you don't from this section, but to create the actual bag itself, you need to cut 2 of the large panels, which is this. That's going to be the main body of the bag. You need 2 side panels, which is this one. We need 1 flap and then 1 strip as well. And again, then I've die cut just a handful of these as well to decorate. So let's get into actually creating our gift bag. Like I said, I've already die cut some of my pieces, so I will show you that next. So here is all of my die cut pieces. So you can see the kind of theme and the papers that I've gone for. I've gone for patterned papers here, and I've used this Botanical Beauties paper pad. This is first edition paper. So this is an 8x8 inch pad. So you either need to use 8x8 or larger for that main body die, because it is 8 inches tall. I was just really careful to get it kind of right on the edges, and I was able to die cut absolutely fine. I had no issues whatsoever. Just in terms of die cutting this die here, so I've only got experience with the Gemini machines, so you would really need to just check whether your die cutting machine will be big enough for this piece. As I said, this is 7 inch by 8 inch. I had to use my big Gemini plates, so that's the full size kind of A4 die cutting. So with the Gemini Junior, the plates are only 6 inches wide, so this wouldn't go through the Gemini. So again, you'll want to check the machines that you've got if you want to get this die. If you still love it and you don't have a A4 die cutter machine, or you know, anything bigger than 7 inch, you could always just use this as a template. You could draw around it and then just score the lines yourself. That is an alternative if you still really love this. But yeah, please just note that this is 7 inch by 8 inch, so make sure your die cutter machine is big enough to cut this. So like I said, here are my pieces. So I've gone for different patterns for the different sections. I really wanted to kind of make this a bit fun and, you know, really just get some of that patterned paper. So I've got this beautiful pattern here. It's got a sheen to it. This is going to be the main body of my bag. Then I've die cut this butterfly patterns paper. I thought again that just worked really nicely. A little bit of contrast there with the colours, but you know, I really like that kind of pattern on pattern. Then I've got this kind of weaved, almost like a faux fabric kind of texture. This is going to be for the sides of my bag. Then I've got my handle is the same as the body, so I wanted to kind of try to incorporate that a little bit more. And then I've taken that same patterned paper that I did for the sides, and these are going to be for my buckles. And I've added then some gold mirror card. I thought that's going to help stand out really lovely, just for the actual buckle portions, because obviously with the buckles you probably would get on a bag, they are going to be some sort of shiny. So I've got those pieces there, and then down here we go. So I've got then my tassel here. So what I did is this die will just die cut out the shape, and then all I did was I used then this die, because you can see it's got that detail, I used this as a stencil. So I kept my die piece in there, and I simply just added some green dye through that like a stencil, and then you can see you've got that detailing on there. I just made sure to clean my die really well afterwards, so there was no ink left on that. And again then that is going to be just hanging from our handle. I die cut that little top piece from that gold mirror card again, just to kind of help that stand out, and that's just going to kind of sit up there. So now we've got all of our elements, let's kind of bring all of this together. So the first thing I'm going to start with is our main body portion. So I'm going to be using a little bit of liquid glue, and I've got some red liner tape here as well. You do want to use a strong adhesive to have this kind of stay together. So with the body, what we've got is this tab at the bottom, which has got a score line. This is going to be the base of our bag. Then we have two darts at the bottom corners here. So we have the little piece that's been cut out, but there is then another small section which is going to create a dart in the bag. So that has been scored. This is really thin red liner tape, and I'm just going to pop a little piece on the thicker portion. So I'm going to do one there and just one on this side, and that's going to create a dart in the bottom of our bag. So while I'm here, let's do the same thing. So I've already just enforced those score lines there, so I can take the backing off my red liner tape, and all I'm going to do then is just bring the edge of our dart right over that flap there, and it's going to create us, like I said, this little dart in our bag. So it's just these kind of small details that is going to give it a much more realistic look. So there we have our two darts, and I've already then folded that bottom piece. So now I'm going to do the same for this. So there we have then our back and front, and they will then just kind of sit together like so. But I'm going to pop those to one side for the moment, because I do want to just fold and burnish our fold lines on our side pieces here. So I'm literally just carefully folding along that middle bit, so that is going to create then sort of the side of the bag, and it's going to go in. Alternatively, you could have it coming out as well. So the picture again, reference on the Craft website has it with these bits going out, but I'm going to try and do it going in, because I think I would prefer how that's going to look. And then I can also then just fold up these edge flaps as well. So we'll just fold that one. And then I'm going to do the same for this piece here. So now I'm going to add just a slightly thicker red liner tape just along our flaps here. So we've got one for each side. So now I've got my red liner tape on here. I can now add these one each side of my base here. So I'm going to start off with a side piece. So I'm just going to take one of the sides off here. So I'm going to line up then the edge of my body with then that score line of my flap. So you can see we've got one side done. What I'm going to do is the same then for this other side. So there's the front of our bag then with our side. So the one thing just at this point I will mention is obviously some of my paper is double-sided, some of it is single-sided. It depends on obviously what you're going to be using this bag for, whether you want to decorate the inside or not, whether you chose to do all papers that were double-sided or all papers that weren't. So you had either all pattern inside or you had all sort of white, but obviously that is however you want to do it. So next thing I need to do is add my back to my bag now. So what I'm going to do, because I've got no tape here, I'm just going to add a little bit of tape onto the bottom of the flaps here, just to hold that piece down. And then I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm going to line up the top of my bag with the top of that side, and then I'm just gonna secure that. So there we have the sides all connected, but obviously now we just need to sort out our base. So I've just had to just take the bottom little bit apart, because the clear thing to do is not to put the tape on the tabs, because it doesn't line up kind of properly. So what I've done is I took that little bit of tape off and I've just added some tape just to the edges of these pieces here. And then all I'm going to do is just fold this down. So now I've got that fold down there. I've already taken off the edge pieces there. I'm going to take off this one here, fold this down, and I'm just going to tip it over, and I'm just going to press into all of that tape to make sure it's stuck down nicely. Then what we've got is a bag, to try and get that in to the camera view there. It's obviously a lot bigger than what I'm normally used to working with, but this is looking really, really beautiful. So you can see I've put the sides in, but like I said, you could do it differently than where you have the sides coming out. That's quite a popular bag style. So if you're making this bag for somebody, you could make it, you know, and they love handbags, you could make this into kind of the style that they like. Like I said, or pop them in. So I might just wait and see at the end how we're looking to see whether I've put the sides in or have them out. So there we have that main side of the bag. So now we can bring in our flap here, and again I'm just going to fold along both of these. So we've now got a piece that's going to look like this here. So this piece is going to attach to the back side. This is going to be the top, and of course then you've got that kind of decorative front there. Then I'm going to add a piece of tape to our inside flap just there. So I'm going to say this is the back of my bag. So I'm going to take out my handle there just to make this a lot easier. And what I'm going to do then is line up the back of my bag to then this flap, nicely lined up. So again, I'm just going to start at one end, and then I'm going to line up my fold line with the top of the body of my bag. So there we've got the back of that with the flap. You could choose to put that on the inside as well, but I quite like how it is on the outside. And then there's our flap. So you've got kind of that much of an opening on there. So there we've got just kind of that basic design for that bag. Once you've sort of put this together the first time, it's actually super easy to put this together again. So this is going to be just the main body. You'll do this for all of your designs, and then it's just how you choose to decorate it from here. So let's pop our buckles together and get this finished. So we've got our buckles here with our straps, and then we have our tassel. So what I'm going to do first of all is just add a small amount of glue onto that kind of metal ring there that I've created, and we'll get this together so it's got time to dry and bond. So for my straps now, so the buckles is going to go on this kind of the longer portion just there. So quite simply, again, you could just use some glue for this. You don't need to use the red liner tape. Just because I've got it here, I'm going to pop that just there. but I will just add a small amount of glue. So I'm going to line this up. And there we have our buckle. So again, let's do the second one. So there we have our buckles. And then when we bring back in our bag, so again, you can have just one there, but I wanted to turn this into a little bit more of a kind of satchel bag. So I'm just gonna have one either side. So I'm gonna pop, again, just a little bit of tape, actually just along the top portion. So I'm just gonna do it on this piece there, kind of, and I'm going to stop before it gets to this thin part, because obviously you don't want it to stick all the way down. If you do want to actually use the bag, if you want to use it as a gift bag and fill it with some goodies, then you need to be able to kind of get into it. So I'm actually just going to line this up with my grid mat, and I'm going to put my buckle just where these two kind of thicker lines are. And I'm going to do it kind of just there. So let's just see how that looks. So then we've still got plenty of space on there. So let's just line that back up. Line that one up as well. And just by taking the time to line those up, it means then it's going to have a better finish to the bag. So if you want to use this as a gift bag, you can hold your buckles down with magnets. You could do it with Velcro dots, you know, whatever it is that you want to hold this down. I've just put some temporary adhesive on it for the moment just to kind of hold it closed, so I can really sort of show you how this is going to look. So the last thing we're going to do is pop on our tassel here. So I've got just a little bit of green twine here, so I don't need too much. So I'm simply just gonna thread that through that metal piece at the top. And I can just tie this. So there is then the finished bag. So again, you can decorate this as much or as little as you like. Again, like I said earlier, if you're making this for somebody who really loves their handbags, you can recreate their favorite handbag. Maybe it could be a designer handbag, and you can just change up the style of this. So again, you could just have one buckle that comes down in the center. I've done two here. You could have the sides sort of sticking out rather than sticking in like I've done mine. But I think it's just such a great little project if you want to give someone a keepsake. And this is quite big. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, and this is quite big. You could get a really great sized gift in here. You could do them as like party favors if you wanted to, fill them, you know, up with sweets. You could make this into a Christmas bag and fill them with little Christmas goodies. Loads and loads of things you can do with this die, and I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. This is the first time I've created something like this, but yeah, I just think it's so beautiful and a fantastic size. I'll leave a link to the product on the Crafts website in the description box down below, and if I can find this paper pad I will. I'm not sure if it's still available. It's a little bit older now, but I will try and link it if I can. But I really would urge you to have a go at creating something like this if you want to give something a little bit more personalized, something that you've made yourself, and again, it's just a fantastic size to be able to pop a gift in. And yeah, I think it would just work really nicely. So I'm going to pop this onto my shelf in my craft room here. I think I'm going to just have it as a decorative piece, but I'm definitely going to have a go at creating another one of these. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so you don't miss out on any future videos. So that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching and happy crafting.